Alright, I don't know where I put my gown or anything like that, so this is all I had, but hey, it's my favorite, Mega Man Transformers shirt and everything like that. I'm glad everyone's here today for this court hearing. As I am known as Judge Jury, I can wear whatever I want, like, I'm the only one qualified to judge people. Never understood how there's so many judges on, like, these reality TV shows or anything like that, because I went through a lot of school, I did a lot of my work, but what do these people do? Become famous, and then they're qualified to be, a judge on a certain thing. Like, and I worked this hard to be a judge. You know what, now I'm mad, so who do we have next? It looks like we have a total level here. Another case of beating a bunch of games. We've been through this already before. I know we have Mr. Level, but, you're here in court today. Let's hear your side of the story. Wait, you can wear whatever you want, but I have to wear, like, this suit? Whatever. Anyways, I like yours. I love, Mega Man and Transformers, so that's really cool. Hey, don't get snippy with me. I already told you, I'm the only one who can judge you on this, okay? Like, even if you're praising me, I don't care. I don't want to hear it, so... Anyways, I see here that you beat 14 games, 4 of which you replayed and beat again, so that's a repeat offense. And 10 brand new offenses of games you beat, so... I'm a judge. Let's hear your side of the story. Start with all 4 games that you played and beat yet again. Wanna know why you beat those ones yet again? Why you can't just leave them alone? Okay. Calm down. Calm down. You're right, Judge. I am sorry for getting snippy at you. Let me tell you my side of the story about the games that I beat yet again, starting with Final Fantasy X Remastered. So, I've already talked about how much I love Final Fantasy X, and so I don't mind playing this over and over again. I usually play the remastered just cause I like the Dark Aeons and everything like that if I decide to try and 100% the game. I know animations and everything are a bit weird in this one, but it's okay. But yeah, just really love it, and I do plan on doing some videos on Final Fantasy X, which is a big reason why I replayed through the whole game. But yeah, so many great memories with this. There's definitely things that do frustrate me with the game, mainly mini games outside of Blitzball, but yeah, I just love the story, love the characters, love the combat system. It's nice, simple, Yes, it'd be nice to have a bit more exploration instead of this big linear path with very small towns that don't have a whole lot of interaction with them, but still, I love Final Fantasy X so much, so yeah, it's one of those games that I replay very often, and one of those easy ones that I find is pretty nice to pick up and play, not too difficult except for a few bosses near the end of the game, and yeah, just a lot of fun for me. Next, we have the remaster of .hack GU Vol.1 Reborn. So, I did play and beat this game before, but I forgot a lot of things about it, so I want to replay it. So, yeah, because I do plan on playing through these GU games, even though I think in the whole .hack series and everything, I think this story is like further ahead than other ones. Like there's Infection, like 4 volumes of like Infection, and yeah, I can't remember the other series. There's a lot of hacks out there, but since I have the GU Last Recodes remaster, it's just easier to play it that way. And yeah, it's still fun game, though very repetitive. It's one of those games that I'll never 100% because of its repetitiveness, right? It's not too long of a game, you can beat, like, depending on how much you do, it'll probably take you anywhere between 10 to 20 hours, For me, probably took me about 12 to 13 because I didn't do a whole lot of the areas because, again, yeah, it's just a bit too repetitive, bit too much, but very interesting story of, you know, playing as Haseo, who's trying to find clues of this girl named Shino, who, after she got killed in the game, she's now in a coma, so wants to get clues, and it all links to this person named Tri-Edge, right? So he's joined guilds and trying to figure out, you know, what happened to Shino, right? So really cool story. Combat-wise, it's decent, it works and everything, battles end pretty quickly, just again, very repetitive environments, and not much exploration or things to do, right? So yeah, one of those games that you're not really going to replay a whole lot, but I want to just refresh my memory with this game, and I'm glad I did. Speaking of refreshing, we have Judgement and Lost Judgment, so I'm really glad I replayed these games, especially the first game, Judgement, because there were a lot of things that I was surprised that I did forget about this game, as you're playing as Detective Takayuki Yagami, who used to be a lawyer, but after a case kind of doesn't quite go the way he wants, I'll just leave it at that. He becomes a private detective, starts his own agency with his best buddy Kaito, who's a former Yakuza, and the whole story starts with trying to catch this kind of serial killer who's gouging out people's eyes as they're finding like dead Yakuza with their eyes gouged out, right? There's also, you know, that's kind of how it starts. The story also involves this drug called 89, which I won't get too much into for, you know, spoiler reasons and everything, but yeah, you kind of got two different storylines, because yeah, first you're just trying to clear a Yakuza's name, and then as you uncover more clues and try to discover the truth, you're kind of led to this 89, and yeah, you kind of got these two sides to work at, right? So very cool game, you know, spin-off of the Yakuza Like a Dragon type games, right? But yeah, this first game though, as cool as it is, like, it is just a Yakuza game. Like, the combat is exactly the same, you just got different mini games, you know, drone racing is a big one in these Judgement ones, and yeah, some lock-picking mini games that are very short, right? But yeah, it's pretty much Yakuza, and that's the thing with the first game, is it didn't really set itself far apart from that series, though. Saying all that, it's still a really fun game with amazing characters, and highly recommend, so really glad I checked this one out. Or I should say, I'm glad I replayed that one again. But yeah, moving on to Lost Judgment, and yeah, this is where the series really started to become more of its own thing. You know, it's still the same type of action combat as the, you know, Kiryu games, right? But it sets itself apart with a lot of like different interactions and mini games you play. Now, big warning with this game, if you're very sensitive to certain topics, you know, because these games have excessive violence, but Lost Judgment also has, you know, things related to bullying, suicide, sexual assault, things like that. So if you are sensitive to that sort of thing, then yeah, just a warning about this game, because there's a ton of it, because the game kind of, without spoiling too much, because there's a lot of different parts in this one too, but basically you're playing as, again, Yagami, who's you know, gets a case to investigate this school, you know, Seiru High, which, man, I butchered that name, wow. But yeah, you're investigating a certain bullying incident and seeing how you can prevent that, right? But of course, as you dig deeper, the you know, the spider web gets untangled, and you learn more and more different conspiracies and clues and all that. There's also a case of a sexual harassment, sexual assault case, right? But again, I'll kind of leave it at that. But very, very fun game, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And you know, again, this one really helps set apart. You get like really cool mini games, you know, like, and what's cool is you don't have to play through them, like, you know, I think there's a few that you have to play a little bit of, but, you know, you get these kind of school stories that, yeah, they're fun to do, but yeah, if you don't want to do them, you can skip them entirely, right? They're completely optional, but yeah, I just really enjoy a lot of the mini games they put in here, and just, yeah, I really enjoy these Judgement games and highly recommend these for anyone who's a fan of the Yakuza type games and everything like that. And then also checked out the Kaito files, which this DLC is something new that I play because I didn't have this DLC before, but it was on sale, so I checked it out, and yeah, not too bad. You're playing as Kaito this time, where Yagami is on a case outside town, so yeah, Kaito's running the business himself, and he gets a case from some man who, you know, is searching for this woman, and this woman used to be Kaito's old flame, right? So, yeah, you're kind of trying to discover the truth on that, and yeah, pretty solid DLC, you know, not too long. It's around 6-7 hours long, and it's very story-based. There's no mini-games, anything like that. You go from point A to point B, right? But I had fun with this one, you know, and yeah, it was cool. You know, there were some weird aspects, like anyone who's used to Yakuza and everything, there's always those weird aspects, but yeah, just fun, cool little game, and yeah, another one that I definitely recommend for people of just not just the Judgement games, but also the Kaito files. Just, I would wait for a sale too, because this is priced at like $40 Canadian normally, and I got around 20, I think, so that's definitely a better price for this type of DLC, but yeah, it was still fun to play through. I can't talk much about the RPGs here, but the Judgement games, I can understand why you would replay them, you know, playing part of the law and everything, trying to solve these crimes and everything like that. I can really appreciate it, as, you know, excessive violence, sometimes you need it in life, I know, so thank you for sharing. Also, I just realized, like, my judge name is Judge Jury. That's a weird word to say. Jury. Man, I need to change my name, I think. Plus, there's like a lady on TV, apparently, who has a very similar name. You know, like, I think there's a D instead of an R there. I don't know, but anyways, moving on. Let's talk about the games you beat for the first time, and why did you do this? Of course, Judge Jury. Let me tell you about the games that I beat for the very first time. So, first up on games I beat for the first time, we'll get this one over quickly. It's Pictoquest, so this was a game that's normally on sale all the time for like $1 or $2, as for me, I like Picross, so yeah, I like these type of puzzle games where if you don't know about Picross, basically you're giving grids, you know, like say 5x5 or 10x10 or something like that, with numbers on the side that will tell you which number of blocks you have to fill in each column and all that, and once you fill all them up, you get a picture at the end of what you're trying to make. And for Pictoquest, it's like this, you know, RPG theme type of Picross type of game where, yeah, you're getting like, you know, different swords, bows, whatever, or enemies like goblins, bats, things like that, you know. Very simple, not much to say about this, just I like these type of games, and yeah, like, you know, just a fun little puzzle game to kill some time here and there, so yeah, not much to say. Next, we have Classic Heroes 1 and 2 Remastered. So, this was gifted to me by P-Cube to review, which, again, P-Cube, thank you very much for this. So, starting with Classic Heroes 1, so these are dungeon crawler RPGs, and for Classic Heroes 1, just wasn't my thing, you know. It's just a bit too difficult and, you know, a bit too grindy, along with kind of reused labyrinths and things like that. It just was a bit of a frustrating experience for me, so yeah, again, I chalk that one up as not for me. However, Class of Heroes 2G, much better, and I really enjoyed this game now. Still has some of that learning curve, like for these Class of Heroes games I wouldn't. If you're trying to get into first-person dungeon crawlers, these probably aren't the ones to start with because, yeah, you need some information about how dungeon crawlers work before you get into these, I would say. But for the second game, yeah, just much better. Way more different labyrinths of different themes, more characters for classes to unlock and things like that. There's quite a bit of humor in this game, I found, and yeah, just an overall, you know, why easier to grind to get money, things like that. So just overall a much more user-friendly experience, and yeah, I had good time with this one. Now, story-wise, these games, you know, nothing to write home about or anything like that, but still had a good time with this. Again, I won't say too much because I did a full-on review video on this, but yeah, Class of Heroes 2G, definitely enjoyed that one. Next up, we have Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. So, want to beat this one before 100 Heroes came out, and yeah, this was a decent Metroidvania RPG experience where you're playing as CJ, kind of this treasure hunter, right, going into town, and as she gets to town, she's helping the whole town out, and yeah, I love the graphics on. I just love these whole pixel art graphics, right? Like, I love that style so much, and yeah, it was a solid experience. Now, it is very repetitive, like, you're going, you know, so much backtracking, like, I got kind of exhausted with that. Not a super long game or anything, but yeah, it was just a bit exhausting going back and forth, you know, pretty easy game, right? There wasn't much of a challenge I found with this one, but overall, very solid experience to get to know a few of these characters before 100 Heroes came out, right? So, really glad I played through this one, and yeah, just, you know, a nice little experience there. Well, since we're in this courtroom anyways, why not talk about Phoenix Wright? So, yeah, it'll be the first Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game through the HD remaster on Xbox Series X, so yeah, you know, solid visual novel type experience, very wacky, fun characters, and, you know, a lot of humor and things like that. The only things with these games is, man, they can be confusing. Like, there's times where you're just trying to click on everything, trying to talk to everyone, present everything, right? And for the actual trials, that's quite a bit of trial and error sometimes, so that part can be a bit frustrating, but overall, you know, just really fun, wacky characters, and yeah, nothing like a courtroom would ever be or anything like that, and you know, just very wacky, and yeah, definitely that anime style, right? So yeah, just a charming little game, you know, that, yeah, it's just fun. I like these puzzle kind of mystery visual novel type games, so yeah, just really fun, and looking forward to checking out the other Phoenix Wright games at some point, and all the other ones like Apollo Justice, things like that, so yeah, pretty cool start. Next, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed. I really enjoyed this a lot, though it's bittersweet because, except for Xenoblade X, I'm done with the main line of Xenoblade Chronicles games, as played through the main games, played through the expansions, and yeah, so it's one of those bittersweet endings, but yeah, I probably won't say too much about this because there's so many spoilers. Like, to play this game, you pretty much do need to play through the other Xenoblade Chronicles games along with their expansions, because otherwise, yeah, a lot of throwbacks, a lot of things people reminisce about, and all these nostalgic moments, right? Like, you would probably be a bit lost playing straight through this one, right? So, yeah, it's just one of those things, and it's why I'm not going to talk too much about, just for people who haven't played this, but yeah, it's just a lot of fun playing as, yeah, Matthew, and I don't know what to say. It's just, yeah, it's sad that it's over. That's all I can say. That's all I want to say, because, yeah, I do want to make a video on these expansions for Xenoblade at some point, so I'll save all that discussion for it then, but yeah, just what a journey it's been. Next up, we have Superliminal. So this was a pretty cool perspective type puzzle game, right? Super short, you know, takes about 2 hours or so to finish, but man, was it really cool. Very trippy, very just, yeah, because it's perception, optical illusions, everything like that, and so it messes with your head as you're always waking up every time you keep going through these puzzles and all that. You wake up in the bed with the alarm going off, and, you know, different times on that alarm, so yeah, it's one of those things that you're trying to put all the puzzle pieces together as you're going through these puzzles. But yeah, it's just such a cool puzzle game that I highly recommend for anyone, and one of those that's not too difficult either. Like, you can, you know, won't be too difficult for anyone to try and play and beat, right? Pretty short, and yeah, just a nice bite-sized puzzle experience. Next, we have Neo The World Ends With You, which, yeah, really cool game, you know, really great story, love the art style, but man, this game needed to be around 20 to 30 hours long instead of like 50 or more, because it is incredibly repetitive. So really cool story, you know, follow up to The World Ends With You on the DS, and yeah, you know, really cool that we got another one of these games as you're playing as Rindo, and he's with his buddy Fred, who have died and now are forced to play something called the Reaper's game, where whoever wins gets kind of their wish granted. You know, whoever wins the game for the week gets their wish granted. So Rindo, Fred, and everyone else he meets along the way are trying to win the game so that they can end the game. That's kind of their wish, right? And yeah, just really cool story, but yeah, just super repetitive. Like, the enemy types, you're only going to see a small handful of enemy types, and then yeah, the same enemies, just different color variations of them, and battle after battle after battle, same areas, you know, and yeah, it's just would have been a really great experience if it was just, you know, cut shorter, you know, to, like I said, around 20 to 30 hours instead of like 50 plus, right? Because there's not much variety in this game, you know. Still a really cool experience, but I was worn out by the time I beat it, like, and I believe there's multiple endings in this. I got just normal ending, which, you know, it was a fine ending, right? So I'm perfectly okay with that. I don't think I can make myself go through and try and unlock everything to get kind of the true ending, right? But that's just my experience. I know so many people absolutely loved this game. I really enjoyed it. It just needed to be shorter, in my opinion. Next, we go to a first-person shooter called Timeshift. So this was a solid shooter game, you know, with some fine time manipulative powers and things like that, right? You know, clocks in around 6-7 hours maybe, something like that. But yeah, I had fun with this. It's not the greatest in story or anything like that, but you know, overall it was fun, and it's cool that it's backwards compatible with the Series X. That's where I played it, though. I know I ran into one weird issue where I had to restart the game. I can't quite remember what that was, and that might just been part of, yeah, like, backwards compatibility just had some issues. Yeah, I think it was like some visual glitches or something like that. I can't quite remember, but yeah, you know, overall, nothing super special about this game, but like I said, it had some fun. Weapons had some fun, you know, time mechanics, because you can pause time, you can reverse time, you know, things like that. And yeah, that part is always fun to use. Just, yeah, there wasn't much to remember about, kind of, you know, characters, story, or environment with this one. But let me know what you think if you played this one, you know, because yeah, it was a fun experience, but something that I know I'll never go back to. And next we have Marvel's Spider-Man 2, so yeah, really fun Spider-Man game, which I still think I do like the first game more as far as storytelling goes and things like that, but man, Insomniac has done a really great job on the Spider-Man games, and introducing Venom was just really cool. I was really looking forward to that. Right now, still has some of those same issues where, you know, a lot of the side stuff is very repetitive, like you're stopping crimes on the street, and certain mini games you would play, you're doing it over and over. Certain collectibles are just scattered throughout the whole city, right? It's a bit exhausting, right? But still really fun, and I like some of the additions. Makes it easier to play, like extending the web and all that, making these web lines so that you can do stealth a lot easier for this game. And yeah, it's just a wonderful experience. I love Spider-Man, so it's rare that there's a Spider-Man game that I don't fall in love with, right? So yeah, just yeah, I highly recommend Spider-Man 2, though I hear some people find it disappointing. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you're one of those that didn't gel with the game or anything like that. For me, I thought it was fantastic, and yeah, I just had a blast playing this game so much. And then the final game, and one that I do want to do a review on at some point. Just yeah, the review I'm working on is taking a while, but Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the juggernaut of 2024, right? And for me, yeah, I love this game now. It's not perfect. There's definitely issues with it, like, because having this more open world space rather than a completely linear one that we got with Remake, you know, along with extending the game, right, you're going to run into more issues, because the longer the game is, the more issues that will be present. So you have a lot of mini games like Queen's Blood, fantastic, I love it, and everything like that, but there's kind of two issues with the mini games. One, if you're not a fan of like mini games or anything like that, this game does force you to play quite a lot of them. Now, you don't necessarily have to win them, but you do have to play them, and that can be frustrating for people. Along with, as much as I love Queen's Blood and things like that, there's definitely mini games in here that I just found weren't so great. I won't really talk about them here for spoilers, but the one that's a mini game is when you're trying to get chocobos and you kind of have to sneak up on them. That was very annoying to me. But yeah, overall, you know, and I guess the other issue is some of the characters weren't the greatest to control, and what I mean by that is basically Kate Sith. Yeah, I won't talk too much about that, but yeah, Kate Sith was just not that fun to use. Again, I'll save that for my main review, but overall, what a wonderful game, you know, just it was cool revisiting, like, these places that I played through the, you know, the original Final Fantasy VII and seeing them kind of how they are for the first time kind of remade like this, right? As, yeah, just certain areas I won't even show you because I think it's well worth just seeing those areas for yourself, like Gold Saucer. I was blown away by that, so yeah, I'll let people discover things like that on their own, but yeah, and just the whole, they did a really great job of kind of Cloud struggles with his memories, right? That, yeah, it's just really, it's a really intense game, really intense experience, and yeah, so much of it I loved, and currently it's probably my game of the year right now, but I say that but I'm hesitant a little bit because I did play Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which was also a fantastic game, so I'll have to think about it, but I do think right now, yeah, Rebirth is my game of the year at the moment, but we'll see if that continues. So yeah, that's all the games I beat. Alright, I heard your story, and yeah, you're free to go. Sorry, just called you here to court today because I needed new games to play. You weren't in trouble at all. Nope, just like the cop from before, like quite a few months back, you know, who just took you in because they wanted to play new games. I'm the same way. You know, it's nice that we have this Phoenix Wright set up too because, yeah, I can play Phoenix Wright now. Thanks for sharing. Really? You made me come all the way down here to say all of that? Are you kidding me? Yep, we're done here, so thanks for coming in, Total Level, and for everyone else watching this video, wherever you are, let me know in the comments down below which games you have played and beat, or which ones have you started even. I would love to know because I need more games to play, so thank you all for watching. I'm Judge Jury, and Total Level, we'll see you next time. Thanks everyone, take care. Hey, you don't get to do the outro, I do. Okay, arrest him. Okay, I'm leaving. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, or if you just want to see any of my skits and then nothing else and leave the video, that's fine too. Thanks everyone, take care.